Hello, today I'm going to do another coaster fight. These two coasters are known as the two best roller coasters at Busch Gardens Tampa. And I'm going to compare these two coasters against each other in a series of categories. And just to let you know, I have added a couple new categories into this fight. There's a few of them, so let's get started with this fight, shall we? Kumba is a B&M sit-down at Busch Gardens Tampa. Montu is a B&M member at Busch Gardens Tampa. And they're both old school B&Ms, and they're both incredible. So I'm going to compare these two now. So let's get started, shall we? First category is the height, and Kumba sits at a height of 143 feet, and Montu is 150 feet, so I give them about 4 out of 10. They're like kind of a little below average, but they're not like insanely short or anything. Okay, next is the drop, and what I love about Kumba's drop is that if you're in the back, it'll just feel like you're roaring through the drop, which I'll explain that a little more once we get to the intensity category. But what I also love about Montu's drop is that it just flings you through the drop. I think Montu's definitely has an amazing drop, just like Kumba does. I think they're both equally good, so I'm giving them both a score, giving them both a 7. Okay, let's go into speed, and Kumba hits a speed of 60 miles per hour, and Montu hits a speed of 65. But I'm not sure because some people say Montu also hits 60 miles per hour. So I'm not sure if Montu is 60 or 65, but they're still getting both a 5. They're both about average speed for a roller coaster. Okay, next up is the layout category, and I'm giving both a 10 for this category. Montu's layout is perfect for a B&M invert. Yes, it might not have that good of pacing. I'll explain that more in a new category. But yeah, layout is a new category in these coaster fights. But now let's talk about Kumba's layout. This has to probably be the best layout I have ever seen on a looping coaster. Literally, this layout is heaven. I adore this coaster so much, part of it because of its layout and stuff. I'll explain that more in the other categories coming for Kumba. But Kumba is one of my favorite coasters of all time just because of that. Okay, next up is smoothness. And Kumba's getting a 7. Kumba is smooth, however, it is a little bit rough. But I have to be completely honest, I think the roughness adds to Kumba. It kind of defines Kumba as an old school B&M roller coaster. And I think that's what Kumba is. And B&M just doesn't make rides like they used to. I'm still glad Kumba's around. And I don't see Kumba closing anytime soon. And Montu is still very smooth to this day. I mean, both these coasters are over 20 years old, for crying out loud. And yeah, Montu's still very smooth, so I'm giving Montu a 9 out of 10 for this category. Very smooth roller coaster. Next is transitions, and Kumba's getting a 10. It transitions each element very smoothly. There's no jerkiness. And Montu's getting a 9. Montu, some of the versions that can be kind of snappy, but that's what makes Montu so good, is just the snappiness. So yeah, the next category is elements. And Montu is getting a 9 because Montu has some amazing elements. However, I will admit though, when compared to another category, which will be coming up soon, it kind of slows down a little, so the elements aren't as good. And plus the Batwing's trimmed, so that's why I'm not really as big a fan of Montu's elements as I am with Kumba's. Kumba, every element is so good, from the vertical loop to the dive loop to the 2 corkscrews to that 0G roll, or known as the Hell roll, which that thing is insane. Oh my gosh, I adore Kumba's Hell roll so much. And the Cobra roll, probably the best Cobra roll I've ever experienced, just because how smooth and how snappy and intense it is. So yeah, so Kumba has perfect elements. Next is intensity. This is what both these coasters are known for. Both these coasters, I'm giving them a 10. Montu, oh my gosh, this is one of the most intense coasters you'll probably ever find. Just literally, if you're in the back row, it is Whip City. You're just whipping through each element in the back row. Now, Kumba, this thing, I adore this coaster so much because just how insanely intense it is. Kumba, as of right now, is literally the most intense coaster I've ever ridden, period. Literally, each moment is intense. Kumba does not let up at all. Literally, I feel like blacking out, basically. So yeah, Kumba and Montu are both getting 10s. They're both very high in intensity and G-force. Both these coasters pull about 3.8 Gs, which is not much at all, but I think why they make them so intense because they're just sustained for such a long time. But Kumba, man, B&M just doesn't make coasters like they used to, and it's sad that they don't make them like they used to. I wish we still had more of those coasters around. It's hard to find them now. So if you ride Kumba, consider yourself to be lucky and blessed. Next up is duration, and both of these are getting a 10. They're both very long rides. Kumba's about 2 minutes 54 seconds, and Montu's about 3 minutes long, so they're both very long rides. So I'm giving both a 10 for this category. Next up is pacing. This is what I was explaining. Montu's getting an 8. Montu's pacing, the first half is insane. I love the first half of Montu. However, in the second half, it starts to die down a bit. But it's still my favorite B&M invert just because of how long it is. But second half, it's kind of like you're going fast and you're not, and then fast and not. It's kind of bittersweet. Sometimes the mid-course isn't as slow as it usually is. But one of the best things with Montu at the second half is the final corkscrew, which you get so much rip on that final corkscrew if you're in the back. So yeah, but Kumba, oh my gosh, Kumba literally keeps that speed. Literally, that speed is constant throughout the entire ride. Kumba does not let up at all. Kumba easily gets a 10 for the pacing category. Kumba, perfect pacing. Next up is theming. Kumba gets a 2. Kumba doesn't really have much theming. Kind of has a generic theme or kind of like a jungle theme, but it's really nothing. Montu's getting a 5. Montu has some decent theming. In the queue line, there's kind of like rocks and stuff, or Egyptian themed walls. And plus, during the ride, Montu has Egyptian themed trenches. Oh, I forgot to admit, Kumba has a tunnel at one point of the ride, which I love Kumba's tunnel. But Montu also in the plaza as well. I mean, Montu is literally seen next to the best themed ride in the park, Kumba's Curse. So I kind of guess why Montu theming is pretty good for what it is. Next up is restraints, and Kumba is getting a 6, and Montu's getting a 6. They're both basically the same, just your traditional B&M overshow restraints, nothing much. So let's move on to the next category is setting, and Kumba is getting a 6. Kumba is kind of been in a field, so Kumba doesn't really have my favorite setting out there. I like how at the top of the lift hill you kind of see it through a lake and stuff. I think that's kind of cool, but the setting is not really my favorite thing about Kumba. Montu's getting a 5. Montu's setting's okay. It's kind of in a field, but the thing with Montu though, the ride sits next to a parking lot. Ugh, hate when it does that. So yeah, this would usually be the end of the two coasters. However, we have a tie. So what do we have to do? I have to figure out a tiebreaker. So to make and break these coasters, I have come up with another category. Which one will win this one? That is the beauty of these roller coasters, which is nothing really much. However, Kumba is getting a 10. Easily one of the most photogenic coasters of all time. One of the most iconic roller coasters out there. Easily gets a 10. There's a lot of famous shots of Kumba. And Montu's getting a 7. Montu kind of has some decent photos, some famous shots of it, but it's really it's not really photogenic, it doesn't have as famous shots as Kumba does. So yeah, so you all know what the winner is now. After seeing the score, it is Kumba. Congratulations, you have destroyed Montu. of the two B&Ms at Busch Gardens, of the two looping coasters, not including Chikra, Kumba I think is the better one. I personally think Kumba's the better one. However, I know there are some people who are big fans of Montu and they'll say Montu is better. But it's really your own opinion. At the end of the day, it's just your own opinion. I'm not trying to say they could be your favorite. I want you to go out and form your own opinion. And this one is just my opinion. And there's just a lot of reasons why I love Kumba so much. Just because of how intense, how forceful it is, and just all the factors. And that will do it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to check out the social media for their YouTube channel. Links in the description. Don't forget to like and comment which one do you think is better. And catch y'all next time. Have a theme-tacular day.